Then I realized that he had actually said something very profound to me. We are family. This is Steve Harris. You can call me Rivers. Welcome to the Grandpa Channel. I'm Steve Harris, but my grandkids call me Rivers. Here we ask a simple question. What did life teach you the hard way? Because a lifetime reveals things you can't learn any other way. On this show, we sit down with people who've lived a little, stumbled a little, and learned a few things along the way. So pull up a chair, because what a lifetime reveals can study another. I'm trying to reduce the level of hypocrisy in my life. Let me tell you, it's a tough slog. I make some progress and then I regress, where I have revealed to me additional areas of hypocrisy in my life that I had no idea existed. Yikes. I am grateful that God is kind and patient. Let me share with you a little something that happened to me last week. First, you need to know that I like myself better when I am generous-hearted. One of the ways I feel more generous-hearted is to give money to panhandlers. I do not give money to beggars willy-nilly. I am currently not made of money. I try to have a few 20s in my wallet. Sometimes I give, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I feel guilty when I don't give, sometimes I don't. Parents begging with small kids usually loosens up the old purse strings. I wonder if my contribution will be used wisely. Will it be used for liquor or foodstuffs? Am I being taken? Am I just being a jerk? I often wonder as I pass panhandlers, what is that person's story? How did they get to this point? Bad decisions? Then I am always reminded of bad decisions I have made, and I feel chastened. Back to the story. It was an early Saturday morning, and I was on my way to watch my grandsons play flag football. It was a gorgeous day. On the way to the freeway, I noticed a beggar sitting cross-legged on the ground, holding a rather small piece of cardboard that read, "Anything would help." His back was to me, and he was engaged in a very spirited discussion, complete with wildly gesticulating arms and hands, with no one. It was a surreal sight. I felt a prompting to stop and give him a 20. But then I remembered I had no cash in my wallet. Honestly, I felt a little relieved as I passed him in my 2011 Buick Lucerne. Then I remembered there was a 20 in the center console of my car, and I received yet another impression to give him the 20. It was kind of inconvenient. I had just passed him, and I had games to attend. But I had received that second prompting, and I knew I had to do it. I wanted to and needed to heed the prompting. I quickly devised a workaround to be in a position to drop off the 20. The beggar came into view. He was still engaged in energetic repartee with no one in sight when I pulled up to him, rolled down the passenger side window, and I waved the 20. He was in his 30s, kind of scraggly and disheveled. He jumped right up with a big grin on his face, and he beelined it to the car. I liked, and I was surprised by his smile. He thanked me profusely. "Thank you, man. Thank you, sir." And then he said something pretty interesting. "Thanks, family." What? When he said this, he was a little surprised at what he had said and maybe a tad embarrassed. Heck, I was a little surprised too, though I wasn't embarrassed. Then I realized that he had actually said something very profound to me. We are family. He is my brother. I am his brother. Jesus, I think, was happy I'd followed the promptings. I felt better about myself too. Why don't I follow these promptings more often? Not only is this beggar family, but we are also fellow beggars, though we probably don't consider ourselves as beggars. An ancient king and prophet said something very interesting about all of this to his people when he posed the rhetorical question, "Are we not all beggars?" He powerfully pointed out that we all depend upon God for everything we have, and we all beg God to forgive us of our sins. This wise king tells his people to help those that stand in need of our help and to give of our substance to our fellow beggars. He specifically tells us not to condemn the beggar and to lose the attitude that the beggar has brought upon himself his misery. So let him stew in his own bad choice juices. Fellow beggars, carry some 20s, follow promptings, be on the lookout for family members. They are all around us. If this stayed with you, there's probably a reason. Sometimes it's not the big moments that change how we see people. It's the small ones we almost miss. If you want to sit with this a little longer, there's a conversation this week about what life teaches us, especially in the moments we don't expect. And if you want to stay with a question like this a little longer, we've got a place for that too.